I ain't about to sit back and talk about gats and clocks.
There's a certain type of 90s hip hop that I love, borderline too cheesy. It's like that party 90s hip hop. 90s rappers were like, all right, now we need a song, you know, for the club or for the ladies. And a perfect example of it, and it's what this beat is heavily influenced by, is two separate songs which actually use the same sample. One is Dom Perignon by Lil Sean featuring Biggie. Well, it says featuring Biggie. It actually just takes a line from, I think it's from Party and Bull or another one of Biggie's songs in the hook. But Biggie's in the video, to be fair to him.
Get on up and get down. Now for now, I go 12 rounds. I'm running raps out of town. Flipping on you like a 62. So what you gonna do when I'm coming to put it on you?
And then the other track is Where's the Party At by Milkbone. You might know Milkbone from Keep It Real, or even more so, you might know Milkbone from the Keep It Real beat, which Big L and Jay-Z famously rapped over.
Yeah, and the bully blocks don't stop the track. I rock a university for the college frat. It's all like this.
This uses the exact same sample, and it also features a Biggie vocal on the hook. So I don't know what the story was, if it's the same producer, or if it's a case where they kind of ripped each other off, or a label was like, make that song again. So I was really heavily influenced by that. I wanted to make a similar kind of vibe beat. I took the sample from a song called What's on Your Mind by George Benson. That's one section of the loop, and here's the other section of the loop. So I changed the tempo of the track to 94 beats per minute. So I stretched that sample a bit, and then I pitched it down by 200 cents. And now the sample sounds like this. All I did with that sample was I EQ'd it, took out all the low end and a good bit of the high so that I could have vocals sitting on top if I'm selling the beat to a rapper. Which that was what this is for. This was on my Type Beat channel. Link is in the description if you want to hear the full beats or whatever. Or if you want to buy a beat either. That's the main sample for the beat. For the bass line, what I did was copied the sample again. Put this on a different mixer track, the next mixer track. I added a compressor to it. Took out all the mid and high end and kept all the low. And I boosted up the gain a bit. So essentially, the low that I took out from the first sample, I've brought it back in, but even higher now. So it sounds like it adds a bit of oomph to the sample, adds a nice bass line to it, and rounds out the low end a bit more. So here's how the low end of the sample sounds. Next up is the drums.
Drums?
No, drums!
Anyone who's seen my first two videos knows I keep my drums really simple at all times. I'm more out for good sound selection, and my mixing is always super simple, not much going on. So here's the drum pattern I went with. I always level my drums as I go, as you can see here, and then I don't really do much mixing at the back end when I'm done the beat. It's kind of already mixed then, because again, the sound selection is good, the sounds coming in sound good already. They don't need much tweaking, it's already exactly what I'm looking for. So it's just leveling them accordingly until it sounds good. So here's the drum pattern with no effects on it. In terms of mixing for the drums, I use my preset, which I've used before on my channel, you might have seen it. To do that, I just right click, file, open mixer track state. And here's ones I've saved from earlier. Boom Bap Drums Go To, that's the one I've used. All that is a fruity limiter set to for drums and a bit of RC20 that just kind of bit-crushes the sound and makes it sound a bit more interesting. Also, a side note, I have my kick on a different channel because I don't like to have my kick going through the RC20. So here's how the drums sound with effects. And there's your beat. Got your drums, got the sample. Then the last little thing on top, which I mentioned from the Dom Perignon song and from Where's the Party At, is they had the Biggie sample. So they just used the hook from a famous song. And that's your hook ready to go. You don't need to rap on the hook at all. And it kind of gives the vibe of the song. I did something similar, except I used Milkbone, the guy who made Where's the Party At and who I mentioned inspired the track pretty much. So I thought it made sense. So it's the very first line of Keep It Real. And I just used it, pitched it down 100 cents, and here it is without any effects on it.
I ain't about to sit back and talk about gats and glocks.
That's it. Then I added a delay. I used preset stereo effect. Drop the volume a bit. Set the timer to 4. Then I add an EQ. which took out all the low end, some of the high end. So it's just a vocal EQ, and then a small bit of reverb. It's literally just a stock Fruity reverb. I didn't even touch any of the settings. So here's that section now.
I ain't about to sit back and talk about gats and glocks.
Vocal sample I took from another famous 90s hip hop song. It's from House of Pain's Jump Around. You definitely know it. I just messed with the timing a bit and I chopped up some of the jumps in the hook. And that sounds like this with the same effects. So here's the sample and the vocal chops together.
I ain't about to sit back and talk about gats and glocks. I ain't about to sit back and talk about gats and glocks.
Old school.
And there's your hook. And there you go. That's your whole beat. That's my attempt at making the third version of Where's the Party At and Little Sean or any of those 90s party tracks. So yeah, if you like the track, give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. If you're like a big hip hop head, by the way, and you know the story of why the same song was brought out twice within a short space of time with the same sample and everything like I mentioned, let me know in the comments, please. If anyone knows Milkbone or Little Sean or the producer, please let me know. I'm dying. I don't know. I just don't know how that happens. It's the same song. Also, if you want to listen to the full beat, it's on my Type Beat channel. It'll be at the end of this video. It'll be in the description. If you want to listen to it or buy the thing, whatever you want to do. Well, yeah, thanks for watching. Here's the full beat. Enjoy.
I ain't about to sit back and talk about gats and glocks. I ain't about to sit back